Assalamu alaikum, hope you're doing well. Well, the same way I did with research methodology, I try to share with you like the most important topic when it comes to that field. I'm going also in this video, I'm going to talk about didactics, I'm going to talk about teaching and learning, and we try together to see like the most important concept, at least the concept that you really should read about, you should cover. And I would also suggest some questions, although it's like mostly everything, but these questions will really guide you and you can test yourself. You see whether you are ready or not for the PhD entrance exams. So I will start here. So let's have a look at the questions in front of us. So, what is the first thing that I should start with? I would really recommend that you start with the foundation of didactics. That will be like the definitions, the evolution, and of course some of the key concepts like teaching, learning, instruction, the difference between these concepts. This is very important because yes, these are the basics, but who knows? Maybe you get some question like this. So, for example, what is the relationship between teaching and learning and didactics? So, this can be very basic, but of course, it is a question that you can expect. And how do cultural contexts influence didactics? What are the key challenges in defining didactics? We have seen in the past question like, for example, the difference between didactics and pedagogy. All these questions one should really expect. Now let's go to number two. And yes, these can be, someone can tell me these are more like of applied linguistics, but, and I would insist, you can see them in didactic question or teaching or learning or TEFL. They're very important that you cover also these theories. So learning theories, for example, we have behaviorism, cognitivism, constructivism, humanism, social learning theories, multiple intelligences. These theories, I do see that it's very important that you cover these. At least you have a very strong idea about these theories. For example, you can see how can social learning theory be incorporated into group activities? This is a very good question. What role does metacognition play in learning theories? We have seen, for example, one of the questions said metacognition, which comes to autonomous learning or autonomous learners. How can multiple intelligences be assessed effectively? This is also can be a very good topic to cover. And of course, this is like a very important thing to cover is teaching method and approaches. Here you would start, for example, to traditional methods and active learning methods. We will have problem-based, task-based, modern approaches. For example, here we have these teaching delivery methods like the flipped classrooms and hybrid classroom. These are not modern approaches, but more of teaching delivery methods. So one should be careful of using these kind of concepts here. How do traditional teaching methods address diverse learning styles? What are the practical steps to implement problem-based learning? How can I effectively transition to hybrid teaching approaches? These kind of a question one can play with. So of course not how can I effectively. This is for you as a teacher. And let's say, for example, what about curriculum design? Also, questions you need to know about what is a curriculum, what do you mean by the curriculum design? We have, for example, principles of curriculum development. Often we use Bloom's taxonomy, objectives versus the outcome, curriculum alignments, especially when we talk about the process. So, for example, how does Bloom taxonomy help me in assessing learners' outcome? This is something we use a lot, especially if we use CBA in our schools. And for example, what are the challenges in aligning curriculum with national standards? This can be a very good question, you can see. And how do I evaluate the effectiveness of a curriculum? Of course, the effectiveness of a curriculum, this is very important. Also, you need to cover this topic. Let's go to lesson plan. This is also important when it comes maybe even if we are talking about ESP. And the component of a lesson plan, objectives, materials, activities, assessments, differentiation, time management, all these are part of the idea of lesson planning. So, how can we align lesson objective with curriculum goals? What are some strategies for incorporating differentiation into daily lessons? This is a topic that you can see especially with mixed ability or multi-leveled classroom. How can I manage time to ensure all lesson objectives are met? This can be very specific, especially ESP. خاصة الجماعة اللي I think اللي يفوتوا في الأناس I do believe they really should focus on these topics, like really should. Now we go to classroom management. You have strategies for managing behavior, building positive relationship. All these you need to know about, motivating students, managing diverse classroom. This is also very crucial. So, like question, what are the most effective ways to handle disruptive behavior? We have seen question like this. And how do I establish rules, expectation, and students' respect? What strategies can help manage large, diverse classroom? These questions, I do believe, very important when we talk about classroom management, and you can expect something like this in your exam. We go to teaching tools and resources. So, for example, when you talk about traditional tools like the textbook, the chalkboards, etc., modern tools, we have smart boards, learning apps, online platforms, open educational resources, MOOCs, etc. MOOC, of course, the MOOC. I don't know if you don't know this, but also can be a question you can see in your PhD entrance exam. And how can digital tools enhance engagement and interaction? What are the advantages and disadvantages of using online platforms for assessment? How do I evaluate the credibility of open educational resources? Okay, we move again. Assessment and evaluation. This is also crucial in your revision. Types of assessment, formative and summative, diagnostics, the rubrics, the feedback, self and peer assessment. So, for example, how can formative assessment be integrated in daily teaching? What are some examples of effective peer assessment practices? And how do we ensure that my assessments are unbiased? This is important too. We move to inclusive education. This is a topic that we see these days. Universal design for learning, differentiated instruction, addressing learning disabilities, promoting equity. So all these can be really important. I don't know if we are focusing on these, but inclusivity in teaching is these days is like it's the trend. Adna teacher-centered interaction, teacher-student interaction. When we talk about communication skills, building a rapport, encouraging participation, and managing conflict. Also, we have what are the characteristics of effective teacher-student communication. How can I build trust with students from diverse backgrounds? What are the best practices for resolving conflict constructively? And we move to also a very important topic, which is professional development. In professional development, we have reflective teaching, continuing education, collaboration with colleagues, lifelong learning. We have seen questions like this. So how can I use reflective teaching to improve my practice? What are the benefits of attending teaching workshop or conferences? And how do professional learning communities support teachers' development? Now we finally move to some trends that also you can see some questions about, like gamification, personalized learning, educational technology innovation, global and multicultural education. So these we have seen already questions like this in the past. For instance, we have how can gamification increase motivation and engagement? What are the best tools for implementing personalized learning in a classroom? And how does multicultural education prepare students for globalized work? So what I did here is like the same video I did concerning research methodology. I tried my best to shed light on like different topics, and mostly these are the topics that you can see in didactics. I don't believe that you will have a question like it's not here in one way or another, maybe in a different words, but the question is going to be part of this. So it's really helped to try to build knowledge about all the concepts involved in this video. I hope you have benefited from this video, and inshallah I'm going to post also soon videos concerning ESP or other field of research. So thank you so much. Goodbye.